I have yet to speak my truth about the situation. Me and my best friend, we went through it together. Yeah, I'm dragging this bitch because she was the devil. I have never met anyone at the beginning with more like charisma. She made me feel so special. She was quite famous on like Tumblr for a while. She was quite famous on like Instagram. She had a lot of followers. I just loved her. I thought she was so cool. We got along so well. We decided to plan a trip to Bali. This big villa that we'd rented, so beautiful. We're all dancing by the DJ booth. She fucking kicks off at me, pushes me on the floor. Oh gosh, this is like where shit just goes tits up. There's no way we're coming back from here. That is it. Like, you're dead to me. Hello guys, welcome back to Dream On Pod with me, your host, Lottie Moss. Sorry, I said that so quickly. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit about friendship, but specifically a friend that I used to have. And it's crazy because this friend, we had quite a public argument, and it was kind of like on Instagram. There was things posted, and I saw like Reddit chains about it. It was crazy. It was actually probably the most like public argument I've ever had with anyone. But I thought I'd just come on here because obviously I know I can't use their name, but I did just want to clear up things about it because I feel like I have yet to speak my truth about the situation. And me and my best friend, we went through it together with this one person. Kind of, we were friends with her, and we were both friends with her, and we both kind of went through very traumatic situations with her. So I feel like for her, I have to do this too. And now I've got a podcast. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, I'm dragging this bitch because she was the devil. Like, honestly, I have never met anyone at the beginning with more like charisma. She made me feel so special. And like, I'm one of those people, like, when I like love someone, like I give them everything. Like, I'm like, and I kind of went into a bit of a thing with her where it was like such best friend vibes, like straight from the beginning. But I'm going to tell the story from the beginning in, you know, somewhat of a nutshell because I don't have all the time in the world. But yeah, so we met, I think 2019 we must have met. And I was moving to LA. So I was living there at the time. And I had a few friends there. I've been going there for a really long time, so I kind of knew a few people. I got invited to this dinner with my friend Shay, and I got sat next to this girl in question. I'm going to give her a fake name just because I don't want to keep saying this girl. So we're going to call her Polly because I can't be bothered to keep saying this girl. So Polly was at this dinner, and we ended up having a really good time. Like, I got sat next to her. I'd actually seen her on Instagram. She's quite famous. She was quite famous on like Tumblr for a while. She's quite famous on like Instagram. She had a lot of followers, and I just loved her. I thought she was so cool. We got along so well. Like, and looking back on it now, I'm like, she probably just mirrored who I was. But anyway, we had a really good night. And then really strangely, I ended up getting invited to a housewarming the next night, and she was there. And me and her were just like vibing from the moment we were at the dinner night before, but like we saw each other again. We were like, yes, this is like so meant to be. Like, and it was crazy because it was like two different sets of friends as well. It was so strange. But yeah, so we're at this housewarming, we're vibing. And then she goes, do you want to come to this concert with me? And she told me the guy's name, but I actually didn't realize, like, because he's a rapper, but I didn't realize his name was like a different name other than like what his rapper name is, which sounds so crazy, but like I just didn't put two and two together because I didn't know his real name. And so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come to this concert with you. We go, and it's this really famous rapper, and she's been hooking up with him. So yeah, we're all there. We're having a really fun night. He performs at this, it's kind of a night they have in LA. It's called Emo Night. And yeah, so we went to that, had the best time. She was like very drunk, but like we had loads of fun. It wasn't like an issue at that time. Like, she was drinking a lot. I knew she was drinking with pills as well. And like that made her kind of like messy. And I remember the whole night just having to pick up after her, and like literally just like, she would just like throw her clothes here, throw her bag here. And I was just like, oh. But I mean, I was so young at the time. I think I was like 21, I believe. Yeah, 21 or something at the time. And I was just like super like infatuated with her. I thought she was really cool. She had loads of followers. She was just like, her Instagram was just like so aesthetic as well. I know that sounds really weird, but she just was so good at taking pictures. I was just like, you know, when you meet someone, you're like, I kind of want to be you. Like, I just thought she was amazing. We end up going to another bar on Sunset Boulevard. And we ended up partying with this musician. So that was the second time I'd ever met her as well. And then I didn't see her for a bit. I think I came back to London because that was just when I was in LA, like looking for places to rent. So I came back to London, packed up all my stuff. And while I was in London, I got a message from said musician. And I was chatting to him for a little bit. I did feel a bit guilty because I knew that I was friends with her. But I'd only really met her twice, so I didn't think it was that much of an issue. And he was sort of being like, oh, I want to see you when you get back to LA, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, obviously me being like this hot, gorgeous, like tattooed musician. I was like, fuck, yes, I am going to see you when I'm back in LA. So I end up seeing him when I'm back in LA. But at the same time, I'm still hanging out with her. And I know that sounds really wrong, but I was 21 at the time. I was in my partying era. I was really not thinking that me and her were going to be like such good friends or anything. And then we ended up actually turning into quite good friends. So me and him ended things. Yeah, so we were friends after that for years. And she had boyfriends quite continuously. But there was always like drama with her. And like genuinely, now I reflect on these situations, like so many things just add up and make sense. But she always had these boyfriends and there's always a drama. There was always something going on with them. And I was always wholeheartedly supporting her in every situation that she went through. There was a moment where she went through some domestic violence and I was so there for her with the whole situation. Like I didn't even know him, but I was like, he's awful. I let her stay at my apartment for months when I wasn't there. And when I was back in London because of COVID, we didn't see each other for ages, but we stayed in contact. We spoke a lot. And maybe it was the fact that we didn't see each other a lot that I didn't see the true side of her. But I also think I just was really infatuated with her. And I just really I think it's so weird to even explain, but she was such a charismatic person that really made you feel so special. And when COVID was over, we'd been talking loads on the phone. She wanted me to move in with her when I came back to LA. So I packed my bags, went to Mexico for my birthday trip, me and a bunch of friends. She came with her then boyfriend. And I didn't love him, but I didn't hate him at the same time. He just was a bit of a dick. And I just kind of thought, whatever. But she always ended up dating these guys that were semi-controlling, just kind of dicks, not good guys. Yeah, I didn't really understand the fascination with him. But it turns out he was managing her OnlyFans. And at the time, I hadn't done OnlyFans yet. So she is actually the girl that kind of introduced me to OnlyFans. And that's probably the only thing that I'll thank her for. Because OnlyFans, she didn't push me to do it or anything. It was literally just, we were in Mexico. He was kind of schmoozing me with it. He was like, oh, it's so good. You can make so much money. I'd quit modeling. I was looking for something else to do. And they kind of sold it to me in that way. And it was really fun. Me and her shot together while we were in Mexico. We had an amazing time. It was very glamorous as well. I think people think OnlyFans is super sleazy and stuff like that. And it truly isn't. When we moved in together in Beverly Hills after we come back from Mexico, we had the best time. I'm talking, we were in this huge house in Beverly Hills. It was so glamorous. It was me, her, and her boyfriend. And we had this huge house and we had girls come over and shoot with us. At the beginning, I didn't actually shoot for OnlyFans. I did this company called, which I have to bleep that out because it no longer exists anyway. But yeah, I don't want to be too bait with it. Even though I'm spilling the entire life story of me and this girl. But yeah, so her boyfriend was doing something similar to OnlyFans, which was the original one that I joined. It wasn't actually OnlyFans. And I was doing that. And he had sold me the dream with this and been we're going to make you so much money. In the first month, it was good money. But then second month didn't turn out to be as good money. So ended up doing OnlyFans instead. But he really used me and my friend, Polly, to get girls to shoot for OnlyFans so much. He was not a girl's guy. He didn't speak to women respectfully, really. He wasn't very nice. He just was very sleazy and kind of thought he was the shit too. And had genuinely he would be oh yeah, he used to run restaurants in New York and stuff. I kind of knew it was bullshit. I was just but you're living, and my friend Polly was paying his rent pretty much, was paying for this house. Obviously I was contributing, but paying for his half. So I just knew that it was all bullshit. But I think I was also so young at the time and it was giving me good money and I didn't really want to question it too much. But they ended up selling that company and then they sold it to Playboy and now it's Playboy Centerfold. So I have shares in Playboy. It was so random. And so, yeah, so we lived together. But while we were living together at this house, it was all gorgeous and lovely at the beginning. But then they started arguing. And when I tell you, like, the arguments weren't normal. Like, I would walk in and there was smashed plates, glass all over the floor, like food, seriously, like, heinous arguments. I didn't see many of them. I heard a lot of them because most of them were in their bedroom, which was like on the other side of the house. And I was on this side of the house. But it was fucking bananas. Like, there was one time I walked in and I was meant to be going out with Polly. And I walk in, her and her boyfriend, like, she has him down on the bed. She's like hitting him. Like, she's abusing him. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. And a whole scenario happened where, like, she was coming at him. He pushed her off. She broke her arm. Like, it was all crazy shit like that. But Polly was fucking nuts. Like, Polly was a fucking crazy bitch. Like, she took a lot of pills. She drank a lot. There was like a lot of drugs in the involvement of it. And you could tell when she was on them because she was a completely different person to when she was sober. And I can't talk. At that time, I was on a lot of drugs. I was drinking a lot. But I've always been someone that has kind of like managed to hold it down with it. Like, in terms of, I didn't lose my actual mind. Like, I just was like depressed or like, you know, I've done crazy things, but nothing compared to what she'd done. And the reason I kind of trusted her as well was because she had a lot of mutual friends in LA. So I kind of thought no one would let me be friends with her if she was like nuts. Yes, they would. That's the thing. I actually found out later on, like after me and her stopped being friends, that everyone was like not friends with her, really close friends with her. Obviously, people were kind of like acquaintances with her, but not close with her because she was batshit. So yeah, so we were still really good friends then. And she decided she really wanted to move out. She was done with a relationship with this guy. And I mean, there was always a drama. I couldn't even bring people over because they argued that much. It was actually beyond. And I'd always seen these kind of behaviors in her that I kind of knew that there was something like, there's something like bipolar or something like that going on with her because her mood swings were not normal. And she would want to end things with this guy. She'd come to me crying to me, I want to end it, I want to move out. And me and my other friend, who was our mutual friend, we would all be like, okay, we'll help you move out. We'll do this tomorrow. We'll wake up. Will you leave the house? We'll do it. We made plans about it. And then she would get back with him and it would be fine. And like, fair, free, you know, do what you want to do. But it was just very dramatic for what it was. And she was kind of saying that he was hitting her and being abusive and stuff. And like, living in a house with someone that's doing that to your friend was such a crazy thing for me. And I, after that, kind of spent a lot less time at that house and would go consistently be out, consistently be with other friends in LA, just hanging out because I just didn't really want to be around it. It was just a very negative environment. Eventually, I think it really took its toll on my mental health as well, being around that kind of abuse, that kind of like drama, that kind of just, yeah, it was just crazy. So I moved out. I went back to London actually after that. And that was kind of that for a while. And then, oh gosh, this is like kind of the crux of it all. This is like where shit just goes tits up. I spent more time in London. I wasn't going back to LA after that. I think that was actually one of the last times I went to LA. Or no, I went back one more time actually. And, you know, me and her saw each other. It was fine, but it was, you know, like we didn't spend as much time with each other. I lived with other people and things like that. But I still saw her, you know, we still were friends. You know, it just was a normal friendship. And like, it's crazy because we actually like would have so much fun together. And she was always there for me whenever things would end with a guy. And she was like really actually like, I really never thought that we wouldn't be friends. I thought she was like my, sister from another mister. Like she was so, you know, yeah, it was just, it's such a weird like thing to even talk about now because when I was in London, she would call me every day. Like we'd speak all the time. We'd speak for like hours on FaceTime. But yeah, so the last time I left, we were on really good terms and I moved back to London permanently, haven't been back since. And I was really missing them. I was missing her. I was missing Polly. I was missing my other friend who was, you know, part of our group. And I really wanted to see them. So we decided to plan a trip to Bali. It was this big villa that we'd rented, so beautiful, like had different huts. So it was like one hut, like one little room there, one room there, one room there, one room there, one room there. And this is important in the context of the story, right? Because you could lock your rooms, but there was like windows. So you could like open it and see out and see what everyone else was doing. And they all surrounded the pool. So you could kind of see everything from like the main pool. And oh my God, it's actually just too wild. So we land in Bali. We're at this beautiful, beautiful villa. I landed first. The girls then arrived, I think the next day, and I went to go pick them up. I rented a car, by the way, which is so rogue in Bali if you've ever been. Like, don't know why the fuck I did that. Because there's so many bikes on the road that I was so scared I was going to like hit them. But I rented this car for us so that we could get around easily and all together. Because with the bikes, you will have to travel separately, and it just didn't make sense. So I went to go pick them up from the airport. It was me, Polly, my friend Alex, my friend Lindsay, and this girl who was Polly's assistant. And I didn't actually even know that Polly was bringing her assistant, which I think on a girl's holiday, like, is a little bit of a weird one. But she has her own brand, Polly, so she wanted to shoot clothes there, which is fair enough, whatever. The girl was really, really nice. And we had enough bedroom. We had loads of bedrooms, so it was fine. So we all get that. We're all drinking, having the best time. They landed, I think, in the like morning or like in the day at some point. So we like had the whole day. And we're all hanging out, having the best time. We get drunk. We're like all drinking. Weird things were happening. She was also not eating a lot. And that kind of worried me as well. But I thought, let her live her own life. Like, it's not my business. I hadn't seen her in so long. I didn't really want to like intrude. I did say to her at one point, because she wanted me to order more alcohol to our villa, I said, I will, but you have to eat something fast. So she did. It was fine. Second night, we decided to go out on a little night out. And we end up going to a Mexican restaurant, which I absolutely love in Bali. And then end up going to this bar where they're playing like live music, whatever. There's a DJ. And we're all dancing, having a really good time. And this is when shit hits the fucking fan. We're all dancing by the DJ booth. We're obviously the hottest bitches in there. We're like, everyone was kind of staring at us because we were really dancing. We were like, like really slutty dancing with each other, which was hilarious. And one of the DJs that's behind the booth, I think there was like two of them. One of them said to us, hey, I have GHB. Do you guys want some? Obviously, like in Bali, drugs are really, really strict and it's just not the vibes at all. So we were like, no, obviously I don't even take GHB. So that for me was just like a red flag anyway. And my friend then decides that she wants to do it. So she was like, no, I want to do it. And I'm like, I really don't think that is a good idea. Like, I really just think, no, you've drank loads. Also, GHB with alcohol is not, like, you shouldn't do it, basically, because it's really dangerous. She fucking kicks off at me, pushes me on the floor, literally, like, pushes me down on the ground in front of everyone. And it was such a crazy reaction for what I said. Like, I was literally just trying to, like, help her. I was trying to be nice. My friend Alex then takes me into another room. Polly is kicking off. She's like, fuck that bitch, like, going off. It was like black. Her eyes just went black. It was like, yeah, I just saw someone that wasn't there anymore. It was like my friend Polly wasn't there anymore. It was just a whole new person. And she went nuts. She's screaming at me, screaming at my friend Alex. We're like completely freaked out. And actually, sorry, wait, I've missed a big integral part of this conversation out. So my friend Alex had previously been away with Polly, and Polly had attacked her also on a night out and called me crying while I was in Bali and saying, oh God, she's done this, she's calling me, blah, blah. It was a whole drama, but they ended up figuring it out, and that's why we're on this holiday. Right, back to the story. So this has already happened to my friend Alex. My friend Alex is kind of like freaking out a little bit. I think she kind of knew where this was headed. I didn't really realize where this was headed. I thought she was going to like freak out then and then wake up the next morning and be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I just like drank too much. It wasn't, you know, and like a normal person does if they do, you know, get aggressive, or if they do have an argument with their friend, like they do wake up the next day and be like, oh shit, like I was a fucking bitch. And so she's screaming at us. Polly decides to go with her assistant back to the villa. Me and Alex decide to go back, me and her. While we're in the car, Polly is texting Alex being like, you're a bitch, like you're taking her side, blah, 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 like saying really, really nasty shit to her on text. And I'm one of those people, like the only person I'm more protective of than myself is my friends. And when you talk shit like that to my friends, I'm like, fuck you. So I was riled up getting back to the villa. I'm like, not ready to fight. Like, I'm just ready to like have it at her because I'm not a fighter. Like, one thing about me, I will argue till the end of time, but I just can't fight. Like, I'm just not an aggressive person in that way. Never hit anyone in my life. And we get back to the villa. I'm just ready to like have it at her. I'm just like, don't fucking speak to my friend like that. So I knock on her door. She had it locked. She's in there with her assistant. I'm like, Polly, get the fuck out here, bitch. Like, don't fucking speak to my friend like that. Don't fucking talk to me like that. Like, how fucking dare you? You're fucking crazy. Like, I was just, obviously, like, you pushed me on the ground in front of a bunch of people. You're being rude to my friend. You're being rude to me. Like, I'm not having that from anyone. And I've actually never had anyone speak to me the way she spoke to me. It was fucking disgusting. And I'm knocking on the door. She doesn't answer at first. So I'm like, whatever. Like, I just go back to my room. So I turn around to walk away when I feel someone grab my hair, pull me to the ground. She gets like, it sounds so lame. Like, I wish it was something a bit more like, you know, like aggressive than that. But she literally got a water bottle, like half-filled water bottle, starts hitting me in the head with it. Just like the weirdest thing ever. Like, if you're going to try and hurt someone, like, that's not really what you use. But yeah, so she got this water bottle, starts hitting me in the head with it, drags me to the ground. Like, I'm like crying my eyes out. And all I can see in the distance, like while she's doing it, I can see the pool and I can see her assistant standing there crying her eyes out, obviously seeing that. And bearing in mind, her assistant, we just met her. She just started working for Polly. She had no idea what she was in for, this poor girl. Like, because I think we kind of knew what she was like. We knew that she had like aggressive, like violent tendencies, but we didn't realize quite to that extent. I managed to get free from her. I ran past the assistant's still crying. I ran up the stairs to my friend's room, who, it was actually her birthday trip as well, which is so sad. But my friend Alex was up in her room. And I knock on the door. She opens the door, lets me in. We lock the door. I'm obviously still hysterically crying. I have like a huge bump on my head from where she'd been hitting me. And I tell her everything. She's like, what happened? What happened? I tell her everything. She goes downstairs. We both go down the stairs. We see her assistant and Polly standing there. And Polly's in this, like, no joke, white nightgown. Like, it's so... And me and my friends actually made edits of it afterwards because we actually thought it was so funny. Like, it's in these traumatic situations, you have to make light of it. But she was wearing this white gown and we were like, she's like a ghost, like, running around. Like, it was like something of a horror film. Like, she was like this, like, full, like, clad in white, like, Victorian ghost running through this villa. Like, it was just so strange. So... we run down the stairs. My friend's like, what the fuck are you doing? To Polly. Polly goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't do anything. It was psychotic. Like, so I've literally, because I've never experienced, and I'll talk about this a bit after, but I've never experienced a true narcissistic person in my life like this. Me and my friend Alex actually figured out after that we think she's got narcissistic personality disorder, but like in a serious way, like not, oh, what a narcissist, like actually narcissistic personality disorder. But yeah, so she claims that this didn't happen, that I was crazy. I was not having it. I was like, this fucking happened. So I look at her assistant and I go, this happened, right? And there is the assistant standing there going, yeah, this happened. Like, I saw it. Thank God for the assist. I mean, obviously my friends would have believed me anyway, but it was just the way she was literally denying it. Her assistant confirms it and she goes, what the fuck are you doing? You work for me, blah, 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 blah. The assistant's like shitting herself. I don't know how the assistant actually even managed to spend time with her after that because I would have been terrified. But that happened. We're all just like confused. Me and my other friend Alex lock ourselves in her room upstairs. She's kind of running around at this point, just going up to everyone's room, kind of like screaming shit, going like really hella aggressive. The argument, like definitely when we went downstairs, definitely just got worse because it was all of us just screaming at each other. Us locking ourselves in that room was probably the best thing we could have done because we just wanted to be away from her and it was super late. We were super tired. She comes running up to the room, like up the stairs. It was like a whole staircase. comes running upstairs, bashing on the door, screaming shit at us, going like, no one likes you, you're ugly, you're fat, you're like saying, honestly, if you can think of just like the most nasty things someone can say to you, like that was what she was saying to us basically. She was like, your sister doesn't love you, like proper going in deep. And this is how I know she's got narcissistic personality disorder, because these narcissistic people gather information about you to then use to hurt you when you do something wrong in their eyes. And my God, did she do that? She really tried to hit me where it hurt. But once she'd hit me in that way, and once she'd come at me in that kind of an aggressive, violent way, I just decided, I was like, there's no way we're coming back from here. That is it. Like, you're dead to me. And I've never looked back on it, actually. It's just like, you're dead to me. This is so... There's a few things in a friendship that I will not like stand for, and violence is one of them. I mean, in any relationship ever in your life, you should never stand for violence. And it just crossed a line. And I think because she'd done it to my friend also, it was just like a double whammy. It was just like, obviously this bitch is fucking crazy. She's lost her mind. And yeah, she's screaming at us for probably like 2 hours. We have security, by the way, at this villa that we were paying, and they seriously didn't do shit. Like, they actually, maybe they were scared. I don't know. They didn't do anything. But yeah, so that happened. My other friend is crying in the room with me. She's like having a really hard time with it. I think she was a bit more like less shut off from it than me. I think I just really had like at that moment just shut down. I was like, she was trying to scream shit at me and I was like laughing at her. I was like, shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch. Like, don't, like, I think in that moment I just knew that I was right and that she was obviously the crazy one. Like, I think sometimes in arguments you can think, oh, maybe I did this, maybe I did that. But in that situation, I just knew that she was fully in the wrong. And I was just like, shut up. Like, anything you say to me now is irrelevant. You're abusive, you're mean, you're nasty, you're like just a piece of trash to me, honestly. And she ended up leaving that night, thank God. Or the next morning, I can't quite remember, but she left at some point during, and I was still locked in this room with my friends. Like, we still stayed in there. She ended up leaving at some point, and we had an amazing rest of our holiday. But the next day, we posted something, me and my friend, about, because I think she was starting to like lie about it already at this point, that she was saying to people that like me and my friend had kicked her out because we were bitches and we were being bullies. Like, it was wild, the lies that she was saying. But I posted something with my friends saying like, when, you know, you get like beat up by your best friend, basically. And it was just like, I think you have to like take humor in it, in that situation, because it's just like, it's so crazy. And I wasn't seriously hurt. It wasn't, I think like it definitely has affected me, but it wasn't in that moment. I was just so like, what? Like, what the fuck? And we were like on a girls' holiday. I didn't want to ruin it. I wanted to still have fun. I didn't want to let this person ruin everything that we'd paid for this really nice place. We were in like an amazing country. Like, I wanted to still have fun. So she ended up posting a series of stories about me. And when I say a series, I mean like a 500-part series about who I was as a person, things that I'd done, like, but like purely just making up shit. Like, it was just strange. Like, the most like impulsive behavior. A lot of the videos that she was putting up, she is completely incomprehensive. Like, you couldn't understand a word she was saying because she was so drunk or on drugs or whatever she was on. But yeah, it was just like, when she posted all that stuff, I had so many people messaging me being like, I'm so sorry she's posting this about you. Like, are you okay? And that's when I realized, because I actually wasn't looking at her stories. I think she'd blocked me at the time and I wasn't really looking at them because I was obviously just having a nice time. But she had literally grilled me and was saying the nastiest shit, calling me a hooker, just saying like such nasty stuff about me, to the point where people were messaging me. And that's when I was like, holy shit, I kind of need to like look now and see what she's saying. Because I think I was just a bit worried. I like don't like seeing nasty shit like that about me on the internet, especially from someone that I considered a friend. And yeah, it was horrible. But loads of people unfollowed her, which I was like, thank God. She was posting lots of things about self-harm at the time. And obviously, look, I didn't want to make it any worse. And I didn't, like, I think it's a really hard subject to even like talk about because of how much she brings up all these problems in her life, were like domestic violence and, you know, self-harm and all of these things were reasons why I felt bad for her and why I took like, I didn't maybe punish her as much as I should have for some of the things that were like happening, or like didn't see the red flags as much as I should have, because I just thought she was a really troubled person. But there are situations I know that she has lied about categorically through other people who have told me the true story of what happened. And it's so sad because she does all these things to get, you know, sympathy. And when you know that it's a lie, but you can't say that it's a lie because they are such serious topics, it's so frustrating. Like, it's so frustrating. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened with her. And it was just, I mean, I look back on it and I'm really glad that I had that experience. And I was, you know, friends with someone like that to experience like the trauma that I did. And I met really good people through it. One of my best friends I met through her, my friend Alex. And, you know, we've got through it. But yeah, it's just a lot, I guess. And, you know, I really do wish her well in hell. But yeah, it's taught me to like really, really know who you're being friends with and really take those red flags and just, if you see a red flag, definitely see the signs and run the other way, because things like that don't get better. And I do kind of think now, like, she manipulated me a lot and she's still, you know, out there living her life. And I needed to too. I felt a lot of bitterness for her for a long time for what she did to me, and when she did the same thing to my friend. She physically assaulted my friend. She physically assaulted me. She'd lied about serious things. And it was just unforgivable. And genuinely, I mean, she never asked for my forgiveness ever. Like, she never reached out to me after the situation. Even now she is somewhat apparently sober. She has never reached out to me for forgiveness. She's never, you know, shown any remorse for what she's done, which just kind of proves, you know, other people's points of, you know, the things that I'd heard that really happened when she'd said these serious situations had happened. It now shows that they weren't true, you know, like, it all backs it up. And even the fact that she was so charismatic at the beginning and so like, you're my best friend, it really shows me now, like, oh, she was doing all of that to just like butter me up so that she could like manipulate me. And I really don't appreciate that, to be honest. And I truly wish her the worst. And I know it sounds bad saying that, but I just like really wish her the worst. I really do. I actually made a TikTok about it. I was just like, there are some people in life, it's okay like to forgive, but not forget, you know? And I think in this situation, like, I definitely don't forgive her and I never will. But I think it's important for me to also talk about, because it was a very difficult time for me, and it was very like triggering and just awful and, you know, traumatic, obviously. Like, but I haven't seen her since. She had a really rough time afterwards, and I actually ended up reaching out to her mum because I saw that she was doing really badly, and I just, honestly, still a part of me felt bad for her and kind of wanted to help, because I did maybe see a point like that. I know this is crazy, but I kind of saw maybe we would become friends again. That obviously never happened. But I did reach out to her mum because I did say, you know, the behavior that she was exhibiting on this trip is just like, you need to be sectioned at that point, my love. Like, you need to be sent away. There's obviously so much wrong. And I think the mum did what she could. And, you know, however she is now, Polly, if you're out there, however you're doing, yeah, good for you. I hope that you can maybe one day like find it in yourself to be a better person and get the real help that you need. But yeah, gosh, that feels like just crazy even talking about it. But I'm glad I got it out there, to be honest. But yeah, that's the story of Polly. Right, guys. So to end on a high, we're going to do some bedtime stories. My first one is actually a really interesting one. Someone wrote in this message that I apparently know. So we'll see. More of a thanks and an advice question. One time I was working as a chef on Yacht Week for this group of Swedish boys who were the most chaotic guests I'd ever had. I actually remember these guys as well. They were super drunk, fighting with each other, just a mess in general. One day I cut my foot badly on broken glass they had smashed. Obviously, these guys were too drunk to notice. Lottie was there and so nice, helped me fix it up with first aid care and just a 5-star girl in general. So thanks for being around when I was dealing with those hooligans. By the end of the week, half the boys had gone home due to drunken injury or fighting. It was actually tragic. That is so cute. I honestly, like, I don't remember that because I was quite drunk too, but I'm glad that I helped you because God, that is so savage that they didn't even tell anyone that they'd broken glass or anything and just left it there. But I do remember them being hooligans. I remember them being crazy. And I'm Norwegian. So like I kind of met these Swedish guys and just thought they were like really low, whatever, like we're from the same kind of place. But yeah, you're welcome, I guess. And I hope you're doing well. That's cute. If you have any stories about me that, I mean, they can be bad too, but if they're nice, please write them in because I want to hear if we've met, if we've, like any interactions that we've had, like please write them in. I'll choose if I read them out or not as well. So they can be crazy. My friend's been in this on-off mess of a relationship for nearly a year. Every time they break up, she's come crying to me. Then she's back with him the next day. The guy is a loser, treats her like trash, and has broken up with her 3 times already. I've had enough. How do I get her to see that she deserves so much better than him? It's another one of those situations where it's just like unfortunate that you just kind of have to let them deal with it themselves. Because at the end of the day, it's not your relationship, it's their relationship. And it sucks when you see your friend hurting. And I've had this many times with many friends where I'm like, leave this motherfucking loser. He's literally a dirtbag. But you just have to let them get on with it. Because it makes you look bad if you say something. And I promise you, because I've done it before with a friend where I've literally been like, he's awful, leave him. And then they end up resenting you. The boyfriend fucking hates you. It's just not worth it. And some people need a little bit longer in relationships to get over them. I have a friend that's kind of in the same situation and you just have to let it. Like, and every time she complains about the fact that it's like on off, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, this is your choice. So yeah, I'd say just honestly, you can't get her to see that she's better off without him. She has to one day wake up and realize that she's better off without him. And it sucks because you don't have the rose tinted glasses on and she does, but she'll get there. Trust me. Me and this girl found out that the same guy was cheating on both of us. He had been taking us on the exact same dates. That's wild. Saying the same lines. Standard. We've also realized he'd worn the exact same outfit to both of our dates. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Me and the girl now have been in contact and we want revenge. Do you have any ideas that we can get him back? Yes! Yes! I've been waiting for this one. So me and a friend of mine actually met through a guy that we'd both dated and he cheated on both of us at the same time. So he was basically sleeping with her, seeing her, and sleeping with me and seeing me. And we figured it out through a mutual friend because she'd been talking about him to her friends who actually knew me and they knew that I was seeing him. Crazy. And we did the same thing. We got revenge, obviously. So we posted, I wouldn't recommend this, but we posted a bunch of stuff on Instagram about him. We were like, caught you out, motherfucker. Like, we know you're seeing both of us, blah, 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 like tagging each other and shit. It was wild. And then my friend actually had the key to his storage unit. So her and another girl ended up going and getting rid of a bunch of his clothes and selling them. Which I think is iconic. Like, obviously, he probably doesn't have a storage unit because he's not homeless, like the guy that we were seeing. But if you can get a hold of any of his clothes or you have any of his clothes, throw them away. Sell them. I feel like selling them will hit harder. And sell them so that you can post it on Instagram, be like going for 40 quid, like with his trainers, his Xbox, anything like that. Love that. If you can't get a hold of his belongings, it sounds really bad, but like, if you really want revenge, you kind of have to just the best revenge is that they're going to have to live with themselves and they're probably a horrible person. But if you want to get revenge in a bad way, I would reckon just like exposing him to every girl. Like, honestly, like the Instagram thing is kind of good because then you can get a good reach. And then like the girls that you're following, the girls that the other girl is following will see. And then he won't be able to date any of them if he was about to. But, that's just my experience with it. Okay, I'm in a situationship with a guy who really loves anime. I'm talking posters all over his walls, shelves of manga, some hentai. Love. Hentai, by the way, is like porn. And his Instagram feed is full of anime women. His lock screen is an anime girl with her mouth open. Is that a red flag? For me, that's not a red flag. He's into something. That's cute. Man has hobbies. The man has interests. That's a good thing. We love that. We actually rate that. I don't think that's crazy. I think that's normal. Everyone's into something. I'm into like pink and sloths and I have them all around my house. Like, I've got little sloths everywhere around my house and I don't think that's weird. Yeah, I think that's just an interest. I don't think that's that weird. Lottie, I'm obsessed with older men. I'm 23 years old and I'm not attracted to anyone under the age of 45. Yes! Get that bag. Honestly, get that bag. Get that older man. I hate boys my age. They're stupid and childish. Mood. I love a real man with experience, a silver fox to be specific. Think Mark Ruffalo. Mark Ruffalo, he's the ultimate daddy. Like, I get you. I'm not having any joy in dating apps. Where can I meet an older man who's not a creep? See, my thing would just be saying dating apps because that's kind of the only thing that I would know where to meet an older guy. But maybe go to some more places that are a bit more like hotel bars and things like that where older men spend their time. Like, don't go to places where it's like loads of young people. Go to like more sophisticated places. I wouldn't know where any of those are. But yeah, I would say hotel bars is a good one because I go to hotel bars sometimes and there is a lot of older men there, like businessmen and stuff. Also, actually, if you live in London, you do. The Ned is great. The Ned is like where all the bankers go after work and it's the jackpot. I see what you mean with our age guys because they can be just a nightmare. Hey Lottie, my boyfriend has this thing where I love how thing is like in italics. He has this thing where he hates where I wear makeup and get my nails done. He is looking for your demand. He doesn't want to see you win. I had my hair dyed darker last week and he was so close to tears. Weird as fuck. Apparently he prefers me natural. If I hear one more man talk about a woman and say he wants her to see her natural when he follows Kylie Jenner and girls that have surgery on Instagram, I'm going to lose my mind. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with surgery, by the way. I have surgery. But the whole bullshit with this, like, I just like natural girls. What do you mean? Like, you're not, no, I can't. It's just like, it's just the most whack thing ever. Like, I'm convinced men that say that, they don't like women, to be honest. I want to switch up my look and try something new. I'm afraid he won't fancy me and I don't feel like I can truly be myself. Yeah, fuck him, babe. Honestly, I'll be real with you on this one. Like, there's always one bedtime story that I say, fuck him, dump him, to, and this is the one. There's at least one normally. But yeah, this is it. Dump him. Fuck him. He doesn't want to see you win. He doesn't want to see you thrive. He doesn't want you to be pretty because he doesn't want you to leave him. That's the tea of that. He just wants you for himself. So he wants to keep you in like controlled, basically, is what he's doing. It's not even that he doesn't like brunette hair. It's that you probably looked way hotter brunette. And he was like, nah, I'm not having that. So yeah, that concludes the bedtime stories. Thank you so much for watching.